get Graceful up to shore power, simply lift up the flap that's located at the rear, get the cable and make sure you have it at 90 degrees like so, slot it in and make sure you push firmly to make sure it's all the way in. Push the cap down to protect it from the weather, and when you're finished, you've got a blue tab here, push that down and give it a nice firm pull. The gas locker is located under the stairs at the rear. Simply lift this up and hook it on with the bungee. You've got two gas bottles in here that are self-switching, so if one of them runs out, it will automatically switch onto the next one. And along this back wall, you've got a yellow tab. This is your isolation shut-off valve. So in case of emergency and you smell gas and you want to cut it off, come straight to the back, turn it off like so, and then give us a ring immediately. If you want power on your boat, simply push this switch to the on position, and now you have power throughout your sockets. If you want the TV to charge your phone, anything like that, you need this power to be on. When you're not using it, simply leave it back in the middle position, which is off, and then this will help preserve power throughout the boats, but obviously there won't be power towards the sockets. When you plug in to shore power, simply pull the switch to the left, which is charger only, and when you're plugged in, this will all illuminate like so. At the rear you have a rocker switch that has 3 positions. When the top is pressed down, this will provide hot water. It will take probably about 45 minutes for hot water to come through the taps. So if you want a shower, make sure you push this in plenty of time. When you don't want anything, leave it in the off position. This won't provide you with hot water or heating. And then if you want heating, push the bottom end down and you'll have heating and hot water. When this is on, after about 10 minutes, you'll have heating panels throughout the boat, and these will illuminate after 10 minutes of this switch being pushed down. After 10 minutes of pressing the switch at the back of the boat, these panels here will illuminate. When you want to take control, simply turn on the power and you have 4 buttons. Mode will change it from cold air to hot air, like so. Then you have the fan, which will display how hard you want the fan to blow, like so. And then you have temperature up or down, where you can set what temperature you want it to be at. When you don't want to use it, simply turn it off and turn the switch at the back of the boat off. To use a TV, ensure that your inverter is turned on and then simply turn it on like so. This TV runs off a normal aerial, which is located on the top, so if you don't get signal straight away, you may have to go upstairs and adjust it. The TV will load up like so, and depending on signal, will be displayed like so. And to go on to a DVD player, simply press DVD at the bottom half of the controller where it says DVD, and the DVD slot is located on the right hand side. Ensure that your inverter is turned on and the switch behind the radio is turned on, and then just simply push and hold the button on top of the radio, and then you've got your source button, your skip, pause, play button, your Bluetooth button, and your open and close button. To use the gas hob, simply lift up the glass lid and turn on your gas tap for the hob. When it's in line with the pipe, it's on. When it's not in line with the pipe, it's off. But remember, when you're not using it, to turn it off. Turn it on. You've got a sparker here and a gas tap here. Simply push and hold the knob in. Light it like so, so it's lit. Hold it for a few seconds and then you can set it to the temperature you want. When you're not using it, simply turn it off like so. And when it's cold enough, close the lid. To use the oven, make sure that the gas tap is on again. Like I said, turn it off if you're not using it. And with this one, you need to make sure that the inverter is turned on because it's an electric ignition. You want to turn the switch on behind so that illuminates, and then you use it like a normal gas oven and push these in and light it like so. Please leave the doors open until it's cold enough to close. In the front hand position, you've got various switches and gauges. The big one is your GPS. It will display how fast you're travelling in miles per hour. Then you have your water and your fuel. These will both be full upon departure. Next to them you have your waste tanks. You have 2 waste tanks on this boat, one for the front and one for the rear, and these will both be empty upon departure. You have your revometer in the middle, which will display how hard the engine's working, and then you have a few here that you don't need to worry about. In between there you have your engine lights. If any of these turn on, just simply moor up as soon as possible and then give us a call. Your switches. You have 3 blank switches here. Don't worry about them, they're not connected to anything. You then have a switch that says gauges. When it's top heavy, it sets the gauges on the upper helm on. When down, you see all the gauges at the bottom spring into life. So it depends where you're sitting and where you want your gauges to be active. You then have this one here, which is your fridge. So if you're on board, you want your fridge to be on at all times. You have your bilge pump, which is always set to automatic, so you don't need to worry about that. You have your water pump, which when you want pressurised water throughout the boat, push this on and leave it on. Some people like to turn this off at night because it can be a noise irritant. You have windscreen wipers left and right, and obviously your horn. To start this boat up, ensure that the throttle is in a neutral position and it pulls out to the right, so you get this gap here. Slowly put some revs on so it helps the engine start, and this gap here represents disengagement of the gears. You then want to turn the key to the left to heat for between 5 and 8 seconds, and then turn the key to start like so. Slowly ease the throttle back till it hits a neutral position, and as soon as it hits neutral it will pop back in like so. This is when you're ready to go untight and begin your journey. To turn this boat off, simply push and hold the stop button, turn the key to off like so. To the left of the dash you have your bow thrusters. Simply push and hold until you see the green light, and if you want the bow of the boat to go left, push and hold it to the left. If you want the bow of the boat to go right, simply push right like so. To turn it off, push the off button and it will ping off straight away. What you want to try and refrain from doing is keep tapping it, because this drains the power, and you also don't want to just push and hold it for over 10 seconds. So the sweet spot is about 3 to 8 seconds. Above the dash you have a reversing camera which automatically turns on as the engine is running. As this boat is dual helm, to switch from upper and lower steering you have this switch here located to the left of the steering wheel. When it's pointing to lower, you're now on lower steering wheel, which frees up the throttle like so. When you want to switch, you need to ensure that both throttles are in the neutral position, and you simply pull it out, turn it around like that, and now it's in line with upper steering. Upper steering is engaged and this throttle is now locked like so. If you have a problem with turning this, it's because one of the throttles isn't quite in neutral.